Yo, what's up guys? Bill here. It's Classic Rock and Metal Review. Good to see your asses. One of my favorite episodes of the month, obviously. Japanese bootleg new releases for the month. This is the April 2023 edition. I'll cover everything that's come out past 30 days or so. Well, not actually everything. Everything would be like 100, probably be 100 minutes. So this is where I just sort of encapsulate what I think are the highlights for you. I'm going to give you 15 Soundboard releases from the past month that catch my eye. In addition to that, 3 of my picks of the month at the end of that. If that's not enough for you, if you guys are into audience tapes, I'm not really. Very rarely I buy an audience recording. But I'll give you 6 more of those that have just come out. And if that's not enough, my 5 most recent pickups, straight from Japan. You can kind of see most of them in the title cover photo there, but I got one more in addition to that. Today, going after some vodka, little orange mango juice. It's morning here right now, about 11 o'clock. Ah, yes. Guys, this is just one of 10 episodes we do monthly, all right? One other one that I do will be bootleg reviews. Just did 4 titles last episode, so I'll put a link down below if you're new to the channel. First of all, thanks, and second of all, there's up to 10 episodes monthly. So I'll put a link down below for the last episode where I reviewed 4 bootleg titles. Yet another episode I do is all concert videos, and that also includes bootleg videos. For the most part, it's mostly bootleg videos, honestly. That's kind of where it's at. But we do cover everything, commercial releases, old and new, just whatever I happen to be watching that month, pick up that month. You get the deal. Guys, I suggest you hit pause, go mix something, and O'Doul's if you have to. And all I could say is, man, if all you're into doing, if you're new to collecting bootlegs, screw Amazon and eBay, guys. Get real. Japan keeps it popping every month. I'm just skimming the surface here. So, 15 soundboards that I recommend, all right? Plus 3 more picks of the month at the end. Let's get started. Slade. Guys, this is a band. I have nothing from them. Never have had anything from them. But every once in a while, a bootleg will come out and just catch my eye and make me, consider getting it just because I don't have anything from them or have very little. So this one's called Alive at Rock City, 1981. This is a CDR. The label is Gypsy Eye Project. Live in Nottingham in the UK. Like I said, I have nothing from them. I know they're more of an early 70s band. They were an absolute sensation in the UK, playing stadiums. So of course we're later on in their career. So that's what almost kind of appeals to me a little bit more. It looks like the original lineup from what I can tell. I'm not an expert on Slade. But this is just an interesting title. This is one of these titles that catches my eye because it's like, oh yeah, Slade. This would probably be something I would go for if I had all the money in the world. But let's just move on to the next title. This is another band I have nothing from. They're actually definitely worth a mention. At the end of this month, I'm going to do my I Was There episode. I'll take us all back to Armored Saint, Wasp, Metallica concert, Ride the Lightning tour. Pretty cool stuff. Can't wait to get to that. But, if I was going to own something from these guys, especially in the way of bootlegs, this would be it. Ultimate Edition. This is a CDR, DVD-R combo. Looks like no label on this one. Various demos, live songs, alternate takes, and such. Some single edits, I think. And video-wise, I think the Live at Lyceum show's on there, and some other good stuff. If you're into Wasp, this looks like a must-have. Next on, pretty much the opposite of Wasp, the Carpenters. Guys, I'm a fan of them, especially their earlier stuff. There's been several new Japanese releases this month, and the one that catches my eye the most was, I never even knew they did this, but in 1971 they were like a summer replacement TV series, ran for 2 months. And it was called Make Your Own Kind of Music. So this is a 2 CD, silver pressed. The label is Eternal Vision. And there's a couple of guests here and there singing and so forth, but it's mostly the Carpenters' full band thing on TV. Never, like I said, I never heard of it. I have to try and watch this maybe if it exists on YouTube. But their early stuff, they were like a duo early on. The first album, I think it's Ticket to Ride, also was called, what was it called? Offering was the original name of that album. It's every other song is Richard singing. I kind of dig that. It kind of reminds me of early Hall & Oates. They were literally a duo at that point. Of course, later on, Daryl Hall sings almost everything. Karen sings everything after 2 albums or so. So just an old school, lots of songs from Ticket to Ride. That album's awesome. Great pop album, lots of jazz influence on it. It's killer. They do like covers of Buffalo Springfield and stuff. Anyway, this one looks good. Make your own kind of music. Never even heard of this show. I'm assuming the title of the CD is after the name of the show. I don't even know. Just something totally new to me. All right, Judas Priest, The Last Vengeance. This is a CD on Bondage. 11 songs from Houston, June of '83. I'm assuming by the title that it's the last gig on the Screamin' for Vengeance tour. Sounds about right. 82 album. Here we are, June. Pretty close to US Festival, I guess. Also 5 bonus songs from Amsterdam and '79. Little quirky there, being 4 years ago, but the bonus tracks are killer. I can't stand when bonus tracks are basically half of another show you can get the whole thing of. I think that whole Amsterdam show is available, so. But nevertheless, they're great, bonus tracks. But this one looks pretty cool, It's only a partial show. I think there's, like I said, 11 songs from the Houston gig. But if that's all that's out there, then you got to have it. It's silver pressed and Soundboard, like I said. All these titles, guys, Soundboard. All right, Floyd has 3 cool titles out this month. Probably even more. I'm telling you, it's about 3. I got this guy 6 months ago. They did a couple of these flat transfer releases. Guys, these are basically needle drops. However, in the situation of More, and there was also Atom Heart Mother by Floyd, they were needle drops off of sort of these initial pressings. So I don't know if they were necessarily acetates. I read somewhere that it was suggested anyway that these were like test pressings, not even the acetate. So I've only listened to this thing once. I love More. I've heard More dozens of times, but honestly, haven't heard it a ton the last couple of decades. I was really super into Floyd 30 years ago. I probably listened to this 20 of those 22 times back then. But anyway, so I can't really tell much of a difference. I could tell you one thing. It sounds like a needle drop in terms of sheer sonic quality. The only thing you hear with this is instruments, okay, and music and the effects. When there's nothing going on, let's say like between the songs, dead silence. When the music's on there, it's just all you hear. There's like zero hiss, zero buzz, no digital bullshit. So this is amazing. And what's coming out this month is what's already come out, the second press of this. If you're into More, and like me, I didn't even own this on CD. I got all the early years box sets. I think it's all covered in there. Just one of those CDs I never upgraded from my cassette days or what have you. So I went for this one and I'm really glad this is like a definitive version of More in my eyes. And this is Prime Floyd, the start of Prime Floyd in my eyes too. 69 to 72. Killer! Get it! What can I say? How about some label info? Sigma's the label. Like I said, it's a second press, silver press CD. Awesome. 4 bonus tracks on that winner too. All right, moving on up to the 70s for Floyd. Another second press. The original cassette tape transfer of Wish You Were Here and Animals Outtakes. 2 CDs on the Sigma label. Now, guys, I picked this up myself. All right, I guess I had first run. For the most part, guys, if you get a first run bootleg CD, you get this numbered sticker. If there's going to be a numbered sticker, they'll put it on the first run. When a second press happens, you won't get a numbered sticker. Starting to notice things like that. Anyway, so my version looks a little different than the one that I'm throwing pictures up for you. I'm showing you as the second press deal, and I'm holding up my first press deal. This one I have actually had for 2 or 3 years. Friggin' awesome! I think my favorite on all this stuff, and what's cool is, as the title would suggest, it's the original cassettes. Somebody obviously snuck this out of the studio or wherever. There's probably other versions out there, I'm assuming by the title also, where it got sort of remastered. Maybe they tried to mess with the hiss or whatever, and there is some of that on there. You know, there's a lot of that junk on here. The songs are there. You know, there's even a click track for the part of Dogs in the middle where there's nothing on here except the damn click track for minutes and minutes. It just makes it that much more trippy and cool. You know, I love this shit, man. Give me all the raw outtakes, alternate takes you can throw out. I'm buying them. All right. Hearing Roger sing the entire Dogs is worth the price of admission alone on this one. All right. Instead of Dave doing most of the song, Roger just the ending. Totally love it. Guys, if you're a fan of alternate versions and you love Animals, you got to have this. And also the Wish You Were Here stuff on here is great too. Absolute winner. Like I said, I'm holding up my older version, newer version out there. Floyd, we're just getting bombarded with Dark Side of the Moon 50th anniversary related things. A couple more have come out, probably a total of 6 at this point in the last few months alone. I'm talking bootleg market. Audiophile edition of Dark Side of the Moon, 2 CD, Masterworks is the label. CD1, a UK analog master restoration. So sounds like a needle drop with some sort of production done to it. And CD2 is various alternate versions of the songs on Dark Side. Now, that's cool. I'm not going to say this isn't cool, all right? Because another one. If I had all the money in the world, why the hell not? I'm not a big fan of hearing songs, 3 versions of the same song in a row. I could see what they're getting at. Honestly, if you want to be super, super thorough about it, there are actually way more versions of these songs out there. So, but it is a nice sort of condensed version of alternate takes of the songs on Dark Side. However, I'm still going to come back to the one that I got a month or 2 ago called Dark Side of the Moon Outtakes, where I like what they did with this one. They sort of hand chose one alternate of each song on Dark Side and then strung them all together to make a brand new Dark Side of the Moon out of all the alternate versions on there. So, you only get one version of each song in a row, not 2 or 3 like on this new audiophile edition. But just throwing it out there in case you're, interested. This is certainly a pretty cool looking title, no doubt. All right, guys, again, I'm continuing. These are just the Soundboard releases that, all look cool. Number 8, U2 Albany 1981 is a CDR, but it's on the Project Zip label. October, the first U.S. tours, the little subtitle to this one. 15 or 16 songs, however you want to look at it, since, one's like a little montage of 2 songs in one. But several of these songs would be dropped after this tour, especially like trying to find some of these songs on bootleg, not happening. So I'm not in love with their early stuff, but this one just kind of stands out as being just a little different than most of what's out there. It's CDR, so it's only priced at like $18, $17, so October tour, pretty kind of cool. All right, number 9, Yes, Close to the Edge. This is another second press of something that sold out pretty quick initially. If you're interested, grab it. Multi-tracks mixes of Close to the Edge. Virtuoso's the label. You get a couple demos, some outtakes, alternate versions of the songs from that album. Some isolated tracks as bonus tracks where you get like just bass and drums and things like that. You'd be surprised how cool some of that stuff can be. Now, I'll come clean right here, guys. I'm a Yes fan in that I have their complete albums collection on CD. That's good enough for me. I'm just not into it enough to want something like this, but I could see the allure. If I was a Yes fan, I would have ordered this already. Bonus CDR option for this one for a couple more bucks. Close to the Edge, Needle Drop, original UK LP. Those things are freaking amazing, man. I'm telling you. They are totally worth the money if you're into this. Number 10. Now here's something I'm putting up here just as a sort of, if you're new to bootlegs, guys. Rolling Stones, Hampton 1981. This has been officially released. This is why bootlegs have their place. Even when you would think something's not necessary. The original stereo reel tape of this concert recording. What did they call that tour? I forget. Still Life, right? 2 CDRs, no label with this. Live in Virginia. The little sort of description with this says, none of the quote-unquote nasty frequencies from the official release. And sometimes that's just how it is, guys. The official release just gets overproduced, compressed. Who knows what the source is, but sometimes bootleg labels just have more authentic sources or just better sounding sources, you know. So that's the story on this one. At least that's what the label's, you know, trying to sell you as. I'm not trying to, you know, make a judgment there. If a band's officially releasing something, I always try to support it. But sometimes you're just such a big fan, you listen to the official release and it just doesn't do it for you, and, you know, so there you go. There's my little soapbox moment for the month. Chicago, live in Oakland. This is a CDR. Vintage Masters is the label. A couple of tunes on here that I haven't seen on some other releases. That's why it's worthy in my eyes. Love Chicago. Number 12, Simon & Garfunkel Lost BBC Sessions, 1965. That's the full title on it. It's a CDR, no label. You get 16 songs. I think 3 of them are Paul Simon solo. The rest, Simon & Garfunkel. Actually starts in 64 to 65. I really can't believe those guys go back that far. I throw those titles out there, but, you know, man, I need to get myself some S&G. And I need to get myself a freaking drink now. Number 13, Lucky 13. Really interesting title. Van Halen, the live anthology, 75 to 81. Actually, technically a mix of soundboard and audience sources on this one, guys. But really kind of a cool mix, or cool collection. Sort of corrals a lot of the only versions of certain songs, you know. Some of them claim to be upgraded sources. Certain live songs that were, say, released only once, so now we got a new source, that kind of thing. So if you don't already have most of this stuff, which I think I kind of sort of do, this looks awesome. Great place to start if you don't have any old Van Halen bootlegs. Shout to the Top is the label. They do some decent work. This is a kind of pricey CD, though. It's 2 CDs, like I said. I believe they're CDs, silver pressed, not CDRs. I'm not 100% sure on that. This is running like over $50 though. Zeppelin, they always have a bunch of titles every month. I usually try to pick one out that I would grab if I was going to grab one. Probably not telling anyone that's a huge Zeppelin fan anything new here. But for this one, I would go with Going Down. It's a 2 CD set. Comes in this nice little box, Watchtower label. 6 songs from Houston, May 16th of 73 on 1 CD. 3 songs from Denver a couple weeks later, May 26th, 73. I just like that, you know, like I said, all these titles so far, guys, soundboard recordings. I just like that they didn't try to jam it all into one disc. Probably wouldn't have even fit anyway, but if it would have, some labels might have did that. I like that these separate shows are on separate discs. There you go, Zeppelin. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. This will wrap it up. Last of the 15 titles, soundboards that I think look pretty cool. It's Crosby, Stills, and Nash, called Live Westbury, New York, 2012. 2 CDRs, Project Zip label. You know, typical sound set list for these guys. A lot of old stuff and a handful of new songs. Just being a soundboard, I think I wouldn't mind hearing this one. All right, guys. 6 audience recordings real quick. Japanese, Judas Priest, Definitive East, Nagoya and Osaka, 78. 2 CDs on the Zodiac label. Audience recording, like I said. You get a couple of options with bonus CDRs, at least on the Disc Japan site. Bonus CDR, Backstage Reading Fest interview from 75, and then Tokyo 78 DVD-R. You get those 6 songs live, famous TV performance. Famous to me anyway. 3 more versions of Exciter on the TV, Japan, 78. Those 2 bonuses only cost an extra $5. If you're into audience recordings, this is a nice little package. More Priest, Monsters of Rock, 1980, CDR on Shades. Diamond Head, you don't see much from them out, on the bootleg market. Sunderland, 1984, this is 2 CDRs. Like I said, reminding you, these are audience recordings, not from me, just throwing them out there. Lost and Found's the label for some Diamond Head. A couple of Ozzy titles, South Fallsburg, second press on this one, 1981 show from New York. It's a silver press CD on Zodiac. Ozzy in Detroit, 2 CDs on Zodiac. And then finally, let's round out the audience bullshit with Accept, Definitive Newcastle, 1986. Again, Zodiac handling it with a silver press CD. Nice optional bonus for, I think, $4 more. CDR of Dokken at the same show as the opening act. That's kind of cool. You don't see that too often. Guys, let's get to the 3 picks of the month. My first pick of the month is going to be vodka. Second pick, whiskey. All right, first pick of the month. These are all soundboards. These are my 3. Dokken, Sacramento, 1983. Zodiac's the label, silver press CD. There's an option for the bonus DVR of Beat Club. Don't be fooled by that stupid cover art. Looks like it was taken in 85 or 86. It's Beat Club from 81, I believe. Might be 80, early 82, sorry. But Sacramento 83 soundboard looks pretty cool. And honestly, had I not picked up the Breaking the Chains original Carrera edition a year or so ago, I wouldn't be interested in this. But that's an awesome version of that album, the best. Way better than the American release. So this Sacramento 83 looks cool. Second pick of the month, Kiss, Tulsa, 1975 soundboard. Again, we're on Zodiac, and again, it's a silver press CD. You just don't see much 75. It's either, 76 and up. So I don't have a 75 CD. This one's looking good to me. I think I already ordered it, actually. So we'll check that out at some point. Dokken's in the cart. Another one in the cart, Metallica, McGovney's Garage, 2 CDRs, 1982, 40th anniversary. This is revised. They had a single CDR version of this out pretty recently. As the title suggests, revised, updated, no label on this one. We got basically everything that happened in that garage from hell from March to April of 82. Audition tape, I think for the whiskey they put together. Practices, rehearsal. There was a writing session I think takes up most of disc 2. And power metal demo, gotta throw that in there. This looks killer, and the price is right. 2 CDRs, only about 17, 18 bucks. I say, order it! It's in my cart, like I said. Hopefully I can pull the trigger on that bitch ASAP. Alright guys, these are the recent picks that I got from Japan, or the recent things that arrived. Some of them actually arrived like a month or more ago, now that I think about it. I don't know if I've shown them to you or not. But anyway, in your face. Cream, Sun Vanishes, Empress Valley Supreme disc with the rare jewel case, 2 silver press CDs, Detroit, October 15th, 1967. You just forget how heavy these guys were. 1967, this is heavy metal, This is the 60s version of Venom, basically. Yeah, it's bluesy, it's heavy as hell. I don't think I even realized how heavy these guys were, because I don't think I ever had anything live from them, Not a big Cream guy. I had Best of Cream, when I was a teenager. I think I got Disraeli Gears a year ago. It's back there. I still haven't listened to it. So I just kind of dove in. I couldn't release this. Supposedly some new mix where I think, if I remember what I read about it, vocals back into the front center speaker, so to speak. I'm not sure why. There was obviously some sort of previous release with vocals, maybe in stereo. I don't even know. But, I haven't heard this or had this title, so no matter what the mix was, I was grabbing it, and it's awesome. I've actually only listened to disc 1. It is just a tour de force of jamming. And you just simply don't... I'm sure at this point there's 2 or 3 generations of people don't realize how heavy Clapton used to be. Clapton being one of them at this point. All right, here's a nice title that I burned off the internet 10 or 15 years ago. Even made my own cover off the internet. I think it might have been the same cover that I'm about to show you. This label is Cannonball. These are 2 CDs, Bark at the Moon, outtakes. Just feast your eyes, feast your werewolf eyes on that. You get basically the entire album in sort of demo form, I guess. Ozzy's vocals, not quite cutting it yet, but it's sort of, demo time, so he's a little phoning it in and stuff like that. He's just sort of working out the melodies, but it's basically fleshed out, worked out. So it's awesome. Love it. I'll get to a more thorough review of this at some point. Like I said, I've had it forever. Just finally upgrading to a physical copy that's not a CDR burned out of iTunes. Give us a quick peek. Cannonball, a little minimalistic with their, art and stuff, but certainly good enough. Awesome coolness there. Nice to finally have a, physical version of that. Not an iTunes version. Steely Dan 1974 soundboard. I already got 4 other soundboards off Amazon's gray market, so I can't wait to check this one out. This is Uxbridge label, and I got to tell you, man, for a CDR that ran $17, nice little packaging. I already showed you that. Back cover's kind of cool. But also, just a tray card inside. But guys, first of all, at least you're in a full-size jewel case and not some bullshit slimline. Usually just do the white press on the disc itself, but inside tray card. At least we're like era appropriate. And then behind the disc, one of the coolest shots of Steely Dan I think I ever saw. Really cool. Baxter, hair flinging in the air. Just awesome. All right, Rainbow, Down to Earth, Deluxe Edition. Rough Mix, Deluxe Edition, I should say. Numbered stickers shoved in there in the way there. Sorry about that. Just chock full of all your Down to Earth. You got a bunch of rough mixes pre-album. Then you got some sort of rehearsal action at the end there. Graham Bonnet solo in the middle. Maybe a more full review at some point for you. Guys, I don't even own this album. This is my first foray into this, although I had a couple of the songs from it on the Best of Rainbow double vinyl. But certainly a great CD to have. Really cool. I have to admit, this would be more appealing to somebody that already loves Down to Earth, But I'm not complaining. I love it. I'm just saying, sometimes I do goofy shit like that, man. Buy like rehearsals of an album I don't even have. Whatever. Wicked Lester, all right, guys. Double CD. Everything I think they basically ever did. 4 different recording sessions, and between 71 and 72, and then final album Real. I've only listened to CD 1 of this so far. It's awesome. I don't think I ever heard anything from here before. Really cool. It's just the cool factor here is off the charts. All right. Loving it and still enjoying it. Guys, that's going to do it for this month. Japanese new releases for April of 2023. Whole other episodes that we do are Japanese bootleg reviews, Japanese video reviews. You know what's up, man. If you don't, I suggest you subscribe right now, not a minute later. This is what we do. Classic rock and metal review. What the hell do you think we do with a title like that? And we also drink. Guys, have a great rest of your week. Catch you later.